YouTube, what's good? Hello, welcome back. I hope you're all doing well. Apologies for no video yesterday. Sometimes I like to take a little break in between, or because yeah, work gets in the way. Too tired, not enough sleep. Yesterday, I just didn't feel like I could put in 100% into the video. And for me, if I can't put 100%, then it's not worth it. It's like the great Ron Swanson said, never half-ass two things, always half, I butchered that. Repeat, never half-ass two things, always whole-ass one thing. I think that's how it goes. I probably messed it up, but pretty much it's not worth putting half the effort into completing things. You might as well just put in all your effort into completing something, so you can get the best outcome possible. So from time to time, if you don't see a video, it's not that I forgot to upload. It's just, sometimes I gotta take a bit of a break, focus on other things, head to bed early and so on. I'm sure you guys understand that. But that's yesterday. Today, we have a very special video. This is a video I've been looking forward to for a while now. And I'm sure a lot of you have been wondering, when is the Kobe video? Today we're going to be introduced to Kobe Bryant. Fortunately, I remember when the news broke out of his passing. I was with some family, some trip. At the time, I had no idea about anything basketball related. Obviously I knew the names like LeBron, Kobe, MJ, just a select few. And I think it was my cousin and some of his friends that were more familiar with basketball. And all of a sudden they were like, holy shit, did you see the news? And I was just scrolling through my phone. I'm like, and I wanted to listen in. And they were saying how there was a helicopter crash. And, unfortunately, Kobe, his 13-year-old daughter, Gianna, were in that crash, unfortunately, and, passed away, along with the other people and the helicopter. Obviously for them it had a bigger impact because they were following the sport. And I'm not saying that I didn't care about it. It was tragic. Whether you're a fan of basketball or not, you gotta feel for them, for his family. And yeah, it was just like sudden. They were young, Gianna was 13. I believe Kobe was in his 40s, which is not old at all. And it's just a shame that, I'll never actually get to see him, if that makes sense, even if he was just guest appearing in a game or being interviewed. I missed out on that one, which is one of my regrets now, I should say, with finally getting into the sport. But I want to make this more of a positive video. I want us to learn more about Kobe. Again, this is going to be an introduction to the video, to Kobe, so it's not going to be a very in-depth video. I looked at Thinking Basketball and Jimmy, but they were too analytical for a first video because they sort of dissect moments of players' careers in games. For now, for this week, all the videos are going to be introduction videos. As for the background for Kobe, I'm not going to go too deep into it for now because I'm sure this video by Nonstop is gonna cover that. And unfortunately, with the NBA side, there's not much to go, not much to read, unless it's more statistical. But we'll leave the more detailed look for another video. So there's only a brief section of his background that I want to read about. It's more of his personal life with his father, and the rest of this, it's probably going to be covered in this video, like the Shaq video I uploaded before. So yeah, Kobe, he spent his entire career playing for the Lakers, I believe 20 years, if I'm not mistaken. His dad, so Bryant's father, Joe Jellybean Bryant, was a professional basketball player who spent 8 seasons in the NBA and 8 more playing in Italy, where Bryant went to school. When his family returned to the US, Bryant played basketball at Lower Merion High School in Ardmore, Pennsylvania, where he received several National Player of the Year awards and broke the Southeastern Pennsylvania scoring record set by Wilt Chamberlain. Well, I'll be recording a video for Wilt soon enough. With 2,883 points. Bryant opted to forgo college and declared himself eligible for the NBA draft when he graduated high school. The Charlotte Hornets chose him with the 13th pick of the 1996 draft. He was traded to the Lakers shortly thereafter and became the second youngest NBA player in history when the 96-97 season opened. He quickly proved his merit with the Lakers and was selected for the NBA All-Star game in just his second season, becoming the youngest All-Star. I mean, there you go, that small paragraph. This gives us a little brief introduction to how great Kobe was with basketball. Now with this, it goes more into detail about his career. Again, we're going to leave that for this video. Although here we mentioned this, we sort of covered this in the Shaq video the other day, where it was between Kobe and Shaq. They were the two top stars of the Lakers team. They had a bit of a rivalry. They weren't really getting along very well. But thanks to Phil Jackson, they found some success. But yeah, we're going to skip the rest because it's going to be cut by the video. And before we get to that video, again, 20 seasons with the Lakers from 1996 to 2016. My God, look at all his achievements. So between 2002 and 2013, he's an 11-time All-NBA first team. Between 2002 to 2011, he's a four-time All-Star MVP, 2-time All-NBA third team, 3-time defensive second team, 2-time Finals MVP, 2-time All-NBA second team. He's a 9-time defensive first team. He's won the MVP in 2008, and he made the All-Rookie second team in 1997. So if that's not enough to show you how good this man truly was, I hope this video will convince you. And I don't need any convincing. I knew the man was great, but we're here to learn more about Kobe. So again, before we watch this video, by the way, I was reading through some comments. I believe it was the Larry Bird video I uploaded 3 days ago. Some of you guys pointed out that some of the information stated by Nonstop weren't correct or they weren't accurate. So again, I'm just picking out videos based on what I've seen so far, like on YouTube. And what I mean by that is, I go to maybe not Post 2K, but I'll go through other channels like Jimmy and Thinking Basketball, and I sort of skip through the video just a tiny bit in the beginning to see whether they go over their career or if they're just sort of focusing on a certain aspect or certain time of their career. But Nonstop seems to be the best when it comes to introducing the player. So I'm just going with the flow with these. I'm still I don't know whether the video is going to be accurate, whether how accurate, or if there's going to be a lot of mistakes in the video. And that's where you guys come in. I appreciate you guys for telling me and helping me out and pointing out things like, oh, this isn't true, he actually did this, oh, that's not right, because it was in this year, it was in that year. So I appreciate you guys, and yeah, trust me, if you're telling me things like, oh, maybe you should focus on this, or you should maybe read on this, don't worry, like, I'm not mad at you guys. I actually prefer you guys being honest and telling me what I've missed out on, what I could fix and stuff. So yeah, we're all good. We're all good. But yeah, so today's video isn't going to be that long. It might get to the half an hour mark depending on how many times I pause. But yeah, again, I'll discuss this at the end of the video. I feel like I've yapped enough. So we're gonna watch this video by Nonstop, and yeah, cheers everyone.
Winning
Let's
over
get started.
everything. He was an asshole, a hopeless romantic, and an obsessive mate. Kobe Bryant for winning over everything. He was an asshole, a hopeless romantic, and an obsessive maniac. But how good was he actually? Early life and road to the NBA. Kobe's dad may have been a millionaire, but this didn't make Kobe's life easy. Like Will Smith, Kobe was born in Philadelphia, and his father, Joe Jellybean Bryant, played for the 76ers. After 8 years in the NBA, Jellybean moved his family to Italy to play basketball.
All right, so I guess there was no need to read that background about Kobe and his father. Now they're covering it, so now I know if I'm watching a video by Nonstop, they've pretty much got all the interest stuff covered.
Abroad. Kobe was just 6 years old, and he didn't
Also, Italy is amazing. I love it. If you haven't traveled to Italy, I highly recommend it.
speak a lick of Italian. Switching schools every time his father changed teams didn't help. And the cherry on top, he was the only black kid at all of them. This shaped Kobe as a person and a player. Struggling to fit in, he always gravitated towards basketball. He learned to play in isolation for hours. Basketball became his safe space, and where he could prove himself against the kids who didn't accept him. When he wasn't playing, he watched NBA games on VHS and dreamt of becoming an NBA player. When Kobe was 13, Bryant's family returned to Philadelphia. Once again, he was alienated because he didn't know American slang. He would silence those who teased him on the basketball court. Bryant was obsessive about the game from a very early age and worked on his basketball skills tirelessly. As an upperclassman, he played all 5 positions for Lower Merion High School and averaged 31 points, 11 rebounds, 6 assists, and 4 blocks. Senior year, he led Lower Merion to their first state championship in 53 years and was named Naismith High School Player of the Year and a McDonald's All-American. There was a huge hype about where he'd go to college. Then, Kobe surprised everybody. Bryant
Nope, college isn't for me. Gonna go straight to the draft.
organized a press conference and announced that he would skip college and take his talents to the NBA. Kobe was just the 6th player in history to go to the NBA directly from high school, so naturally, NBA executives were reluctant to draft him. But after he destroyed Michael Cooper in practice, Lakers GM Jerry West knew that he was watching the best pre-draft workout he'd ever seen, and that Kobe was the best player in the 1996 draft. West was so determined to draft Kobe that he finessed the Charlotte Hornets into drafting Bryant and trading him to LA for Vlade Divac. Brash youngster. I'm Kobe Bryant, and I'm not going to get punked by anybody. That was the first thing Kobe said.
Yeah, I mean, look, young Kobe, oozing confidence. He just knows he's good, and he knows what he's worth.
His first training camp practice. He let the other Lakers know he's no ordinary rookie. Even as a skinny young kid, Kobe was fearless from the get-go, relentless in every practice and every game. Kobe entered the 1997 Slam Dunk Contest and won. His teammates lovingly called him Showboat, but it wasn't all good. In his first playoff series, Bryant famously shot 4 air balls in overtime against Utah. By his second season, he was already averaging 15 points per game. He even became the youngest all-star starter in NBA history, but didn't start on his own team. His most memorable moments from '98 were playing against Black Jesus. MJ was impressed by
Black Jesus, huh? I don't know if I missed that in the video I uploaded from MJ, but is that generally his nickname? One of his nicknames? I'm curious.
Kobe on how he would unapologetically ask for advice and wasn't starstruck by Jordan. Kobe went on to finish second in the 6th.
See, I feel like, I kind of went through something like that where I was too afraid to ask questions because I was afraid of what others would think. So it was pretty cool. Like, now that I'm more mature, grown up, I've realized how important it is to actually just ask questions, get help, get better, Most people will probably help you, and then there's some out there that would look the other way.
Man of the Year voting.
Sorry, I keep pausing, but it's cool to see, someone the stature of Michael Jordan help at the time the rookie, Kobe.
But come playoffs, the Lakers would repeat history and lose to Utah. In 1999, Kobe finally became a permanent starter and averaged 20 points per game. Though this wouldn't stop the Lakers from getting swept in the playoffs. The Lake Show knew something had to change, so they appointed Phil Jackson as the new head coach. Laker Dynasty. In 1998, Shaq and Kobe had their first fight, and O'Neal nearly decapitated Bryant. However, Phil Jackson was called the...
Was it actually that bad? Was the rivalry between Kobe and Shaq that bad? You might have to do a video on that very soon.
Zen master for a reason. He challenged O'Neal to get into the best shape of his life, and Shaq dominated like never before. Kobe was an all-star, averaging 22, 6, and 5, and the Lakers were firing on all cylinders. They went on to win 67 games in the regular season, which was the 5th best result in NBA history. Shaq won the MVP trophy. Kobe was named to the All-NBA second team, and was the youngest player ever to be selected in the All-Defense first team. But once again, playoffs were no cakewalk for the Lakers. It was the 4th quarter of Game 7 in the Western Finals, and the Lakers were losing by 15 against Portland. Everyone thought it was the end for the Lakers, until Kobe and Shaq powered one of the best comebacks in NBA history. Bryant was phenomenal in the clutch, with his crossover on Scottie Pippen, and the alley-oop to Shaq clinched the game and the series. But their work wasn't finished. They still had the finals against the Pacers, and in Game 2, it happened. Jalen Rose had deliberately put his feet under Kobe in Game 2 and twisted his ankle. Bryant was forced to miss Game 3, and Indiana comfortably won that game. What the Pacers didn't realize is Kobe is one resilient SOB. He returned in Game 4 with a vengeance. When Shaq got ejected, Kobe put the team on his shoulders and carried them to a win. The Lakers would break the Pacers in 6 games, and Kobe jumped in Shaq's arms to celebrate their first ever title together. However, things never stayed good for long between Shaq and Kobe. After the first title, Shaq was content. So content, he spent his summer eating burgers and drinking pina coladas. Kobe, on the other hand, spent the summer in the gym. So when he had seen Shaq in the preseason out of shape, Kobe lost his mind, and their feud started again.
I mean, rightfully so, right? I mean, if you think about it, this is a sport where you have to continuously be improving yourself, training, keeping yourself at the top level, so you keep winning. No hate to Shaq. You know, I mean, yes, you won a championship, but like Kobe, just imagine the levels that Shaq would have reached if he didn't stick to that, being content, being happy with what they've achieved so far. So I don't blame Kobe for losing it.
But Shaq's laziness gave Kobe more opportunities to dominate. Bryant averaged a career-high 28.5 points per game. And thankfully, once the playoffs came, Shaq was the athletic beast he was the year before, and the Lakers were unstoppable. They swept all 3 series in the Western Conference. Who would stop them from doing the same in the finals? Well, he was small, but he was a problem. His name was Allen Iverson. AI mercilessly dropped 48 in the Staples Center, stepped over Tyronn Lue, and won Game 1 for the Sixers. But Shaq and Kobe took AI's disrespect personally, and they couldn't let that slide. The Lakers came back and won the next 4 games to clinch their 2nd consecutive title. Their 15-1 playoff run was the best in history, until 2017, when the Warriors went 16-1. In 2002, Kobe led the Lakers in
my team, the Warriors. Shout out to all you Warriors fans out there.
Assists, and he averaged 25 per game. Mamba made the first All-NBA team for the first time in his career, plus the first team All-Defense. He also won the All-Star Game MVP, and the Lakers continued to dominate the opposition until they reached the conference finals in the Sacramento Kings. The Kings were the best team throughout the season, and Chris Webber was playing at the MVP level. The Kings took a 3-2 lead in the series, and to be honest, they would have probably won Game 6 too, had it not been for one of the worst refereeing jobs in NBA history. The refs stole that win for the Lakers, but LA won Game 7 fair and square. In the finals, they quickly dismantled the Nets in 4 games. Shaq was the finals MVP for the 3rd time in a row, and Kobe became the youngest player ever with 3 championships.
That is crazy.
Shaq. After 2002, Kobe was one of the best offensive players in the game. He knew when to shoot and when to pass. The problem was, sometimes he didn't want to pass. Kobe, being one of the best perimeter defenders in the NBA, always guarded the best opposing guard in the clutch. He understood the game tactically. He had all the moves and counter moves. In 2003, he dropped 55 on Jordan. He averaged over 32 points in the playoffs, but the Spurs were
52 points?
5 on Jordan.
55 points.
He averaged over 32 points in the play.
That is crazy, man. Averaging 32 points per game in the playoffs? That's nuts.
The Spurs were too strong that year. The only thing that Kobe had not fully mastered was emotional intelligence and being a leader. In 2004, his beef with Shaq became unbearable. Both Shaq and Kobe acted childishly, but Kobe did Shaq dirty after discussing Shaq's marriage with the media. Ironic, because he was also going through a court case in Colorado, which proved his own infidelity. Craziest part is at the same time as his trial, Kobe was playing in the playoffs. It takes a cold-blooded individual to be facing a lengthy jail sentence and still go out to perform as well as he did. The Lakers added Karl Malone and
that just shows the mentality that Kobe had. He loved basketball, and he was going to do whatever it takes to get back to the game and win.
Gary Payton, so everybody thought they would be crowned champions again. But Kobe beefed with both Shaq and Malone. The lack of chemistry showed its ugly head when it was most important. Kobe was forcing things in the finals against the Pistons. He took by far the most shots on the team, despite hitting only 38% from the field and 17% for 3, and the Lakers lost in 5 games. Something had to change, so Shaq was traded to Miami, and Kobe had the chance to prove that he could win without him. Individual greatness. Kobe was a maniac. For all the kids out there that want to be like Kobe, here's some advice. Don't do it. Because Kobe was 1 in a billion, he ran himself into the ground to become a perfect basketball player. He was in the gym up to 3 times a day, and he wouldn't leave practice without making 400 shots.
Listen, man, 3 times a day at the gym? Now look, his training isn't, I don't know what his training was like, but 3 times in one day is insane. Insane. I mean, I understand if you do maybe 1 session of cardio and then 1 session of weightlifting. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Bodybuilders do that, but like 3 sessions. I'm gonna have to look into this.
But it was because Kobe was such a maniac.
Also, I do plan on watching Steph Curry's training, because I've heard a lot about his training style.
That he produced some of the greatest memories for basketball fans around the world. In 2005, he scored 62 points against the Mavs in just 3 quarters. And 3 weeks later, he notoriously scored 81 against the Raptors.
81?
The second highest scoring game in NBA history. Bryant averaged 35 points per game in
81 points. How is that possible?
05 and 31 in 06. He was in his athletic prime. Kobe led the league in scoring, and his highlights of that era are a thing of beauty. But that same year, the Lakers somehow missed the playoffs. And in 06 and 07, they lost to the Suns in the first round. Despite Mamba's heroics and game winners in the clutch, he still wasn't proven as a true team player or leader. Buenos dias, pal. Kobe's selfishness almost got him traded to Detroit during the 2007-2008 season, but that fell through, and instead, the Lakers traded for Pau Gasol, one of the best European players ever. With the additions of Gasol, Trevor Ariza, and the emergence of Andrew Bynum, the Lakers finally became champions.
All right, so those 3 names are new to me.
Gasol, Trevor Ariza, and the emergence of Andrew Bynum.
So I haven't heard of them 3 before. New names for me. Now, for you veterans, fans, long-time fans of the sport, should I, look them up, read about them, maybe react to them? I know that not every player, I shouldn't react to every single player, but, let me know if I should maybe read about them 3 or 2 of them, or maybe just 1 of them. Let me know.
Of Andrew Bynum, the Lakers finally became championship contenders again. LA clinched the #1 seed, and Mamba was named the regular season MVP. They dominated the West and made it to the finals against the Boston Celtics. With Tom Thibodeau, a defensive mastermind, and his revolutionary ice defense, the Celtics would load up defenders on Kobe in the finals, forcing Bryant to get rid of the ball or take tough shots against multiple defenders. Kobe was the best player in the world at the time, but Boston had a better team that season, and the Celtics won in 6 games. After winning the 2008 Olympics with Team USA against Spain, Kobe left the gold medal in front of Pau Gasol's locker to rile him up for the season. He needed Pau to be aggressive. He played similar tricks on other teammates and was finally learning to be a leader. Kobe took it upon himself to hang out socially and bond with his teammates to learn what made them tick. He now knew he couldn't win the title by himself.
I respect that. I like that a lot, that he was starting to put more effort into, becoming more familiar and knowing more about his teammates. Kind of reminds me of the Spurs tribute, the beautiful game, teamwork, team basketball, I was going to say Shaq. Kobe, obviously one-man army. After growing, maturing, experience, he's more open-minded now. Like, all right, so okay, I'm not a one-man team. I actually need my team to help me. I like that.
In 2009, Bryant was playing the best and most mature basketball of his life.
Here we go.
He led the Lakers to win the championship and earned the Finals MVP award. In 2010, the Lakers made the finals once more and had a chance at revenge against the Celtics. But as usual, there was a problem. Kobe was playing with a bone spur in his ankle and a broken finger on his shooting hand. As you would imagine, he couldn't shoot the ball well. This series, in particular, was pretty ugly, but things were different than they were years ago. Kobe and the Lakers learned to play like a team and took the series to Game 7. Kobe shot 6 from 24, incapable of putting the game away by himself. But with his Mamba mentality, he'd rather die than lose to the Celtics twice. Bryant had 15 rebounds that game, and he was doing everything possible to win. Then in the last minute, Ron Artest would hit a 3, and the Lakers prevailed. Kobe got his 5th title that night, and when a reporter asked what the title means for him, Kobe truthfully and sarcastically answered, "Just got one more than Shaq." Lakers' downfall and Kobe's legacy. In
Oh, that's
2011
funny.
and 2012, Kobe was still his usual self, scoring and trying to win the title at any cost. But the Lakers were once again struggling. So in 2013, they traded for Dwight Howard, and Howard was a terrible fit. It was obvious that Kobe's athleticism was slowly fading. Then, as if things weren't already bad enough, it happened. Kobe snapped his Achilles, the most devastating injury in basketball. Kobe made his 2 free throws and walked himself off the court like a boss. Frustrated, he cried in the locker room, but he was still determined to come back stronger. Thing is, even with the Mamba mentality, after the Achilles came the knee injury. After the knee, it was the shoulder. Kobe was getting older, and in 2016, it was obvious that he couldn't do it anymore. Everything was hurting. That's when Kobe wrote Dear Basketball, his love letter to the sport. It was the best retirement announcement in the history of sports. He opened a door into his beautiful and deep personality, which only a few people knew existed. Kobe had finally let his guard down for the first time in his life. He was no longer an asshole. He was kind. He was jovial. He was giving. The whole NBA gave him a retirement tour and honored his legacy to the game of basketball. Bryant sucked for the majority of that season. I think he dunked the ball maybe once that year. But in the final game of his career, against an opponent who was fighting for a playoff spot, Kobe played.
I don't like the way that they said he sucked.
NBA gave him a retirement tour and honored his legacy to the game of basketball. Bryant sucked for the
See, I don't like that wording, like he sucked. Maybe something like he didn't play as well, you know? Maybe sort of just iterate or focus more on, like, you know, and because of his age and past injuries, he couldn't play at his best during that year. Sort of he sucked. I don't know. Just doesn't really I don't know. It doesn't feel like it's the right word to use.
Majority of that season. I think he dunked the ball maybe once that year. But in the final game of his career, against an opponent who was fighting for a playoff.
I mean, even if he wasn't playing that well, you know, he's still Kobe. You can't just say he sucked.
Spot. Kobe played one of the best games of his career. This mother effer dropped 60. He literally made every shot in the clutch, with almost no lift in his legs. And just like Jordan inspired him, he became an inspiration to millions of kids around the world who would all yell Kobe while throwing their homework in the trash.
Kobe. Well, that was a pretty good video. Good introduction to Kobe, his Black Mamba mentality. It was clear that that basketball was his life. You know, he absolutely loved the sport. He was willing to do whatever it took to win, to be there, to play. And I liked his story. Comes out of school, skips college, but he knows he's good. He knows his worth. That's why he skipped college. He got drafted, and then once he got traded to the Lakers, it was all up from there. I mean, look, he played well, and there was this video. Who did we react to and watch that had a similar story in the sense of they weren't really sharing the ball, or they weren't playing as a team at the beginning, but then later on realized that, you know, teamwork makes the dream work. I can't remember, man. Maybe you guys can, but I know we reacted to him very, like, it wasn't a while ago. It was recent. I can't remember, but you know, yeah. Maybe he was a bit immature. Maybe tunnel vision. You know, I'm the best. I'm the one who's gonna score. I'm the one who's gonna, you know, make my team win. But over the years, he realized that there's no I in team. We have to be a team. We're gonna play together. We gotta win. And then, you know, with his injuries, playing as a team is what helped them win and, you know, progress to the finals. And yeah, I mean, he multi-time NBA champ, MVP, first team, all-star team, goal. You know, he was part of the Team USA in the Olympics, won gold medal. The man's done it all. He was one of the best, you know, in his time. He was the greatest. Sure you guys can all agree. And you know, this is going by what you guys have been telling me as well. You know, it was like Michael Jordan, Kobe, which I can't really disagree with that, you know, even though I'm not as knowledgeable about the sport as you guys. You know, I have done some reading, and I know his influence with the sport, outside of the sport. But yeah, I'm not gonna mention LeBron because I feel like if I mention LeBron, I'm gonna be attacked. The comments that I have been reading about LeBron have made me laugh. You guys are the funniest. But yeah, guys, it's a great video. Now, for myself and anyone who's watching who isn't familiar with basketball, actually, I want to know in the comments. Let me know if you're new to the sport like me and you've been learning on the go as I upload the videos. I'm curious to know how many of you guys are new to the sport, because pretty much every comment I read, it's from viewers, it's from you guys who have been fans for a while and you're familiar with the sport. But out of curiosity, how many of you guys are new to the sport as well, like myself, and are learning? I'm actually very interested in that. But yeah, guys, great video. We're definitely going to be reacting to his highlights. I mean, look, Post 2K just uploaded a video 8 hours ago. 2010 Kobe was a cold-blooded killer. I mean, there you go. That's a video right there for a future video. But yeah, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have, don't forget to leave a like, hit that subscribe button, and yeah, let me know in the comments any information that I need to know when it comes to Kobe. Give me some suggestions on what videos to watch for him for a future video, any highlights. Let me know in the comments. Otherwise, if you guys want to be part of the community as well, I have a Discord. The link will be in the bio. If you want to just be a part of the community, more than welcome to. We also have a sports channel there, so you can chat about basketball, any other sport that you guys are into, share some videos, photos, stats. By all means, go ahead. And yeah, I'm not too sure who I'm going to be reacting to after Kobe. I actually planned this week at least the first 4 videos: MJ, Larry Bird, Shaq, Kobe. If you see it, it's like MJ and Larry Bird go hand in hand, and then you have Shaq and Kobe. So, and then I'm gonna have to look for the next duo, or maybe it's just one video, 2 random videos for 2 players. Who knows? But then, until the next video, take care, stay safe, keep on grinding, never give up, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Much love. Bye.